The Atlantic approach to Boston, capital of Massachusetts, is through a series of islands. The channel needs constant dredging to keep it open for large ships. Liquid natural gas is stored on one of the islands, and Fort Independence, built in 1634, stands on another. Logan Airport is on the opposite side of the Charles River to the city, and planes fly over every minute or so. We moored across from the container quays and watched the planes as we waited to clear US immigration. It was after dinner before we got clearance to go ashore, and we took the shuttle to Quincy Market. This pedestrianised area in the middle of the city has shops, bars and buskers. The main building is a food hall. Here we could have bought a fancy bun for $4 each, or an astronomically priced ice cream. And they even wanted a tip. Listening to our favorite song, and when you said you Here there's a copy of the famous Cheers bar, with cutouts of the main characters from the series, and, of course, a themed gift shop. Then it was time to go back to the ship for the night. First thing the next morning, we walked down the quayside, passing other ships towards the coaches, and were driven through the city on the way to Cape Cod. First stop was in Sandwich, the oldest town on the Cape, and named after Sandwich in Kent. Dexter's Grist Mill, a water-powered corn mill, is over 350 years old. It was fully restored in 1961. The wheel is driven by water from the very pretty lake just above it. A ladder's been installed so that fish can bypass the mill. You can still buy cornmeal today. Then it was on to Chatham on the southeast tip of Cape Cod, where a bronze statue of a little boy sits outside the library. Historically a fishing village, it was first settled by the English in 1664. It's now a summer resort. We wandered round the back streets looking at the lovely houses and gardens. Then it was time for an ice cream as we laughed at the signs in the shops. We went to an exhibition by the local painting group. Then we walked past the church and back to the coach. We drove to Hyannis, known as the capital of the Cape. It's the largest recreational port on Cape Cod. We took a boat trip out into the bay, looking at the houses and boats along the coast. The ferry runs between Hyannis and Nantucket Island. Another ferry goes to Martha's Vineyard. Beyond the breakwater is Hyannis Port, where the Kennedys have their summer homes. We passed the yacht club and more pleasure craft on our way back into Hyannis. We saw this seal bobbing in the harbour before we returned to Boston.